Okay, so let's take a look at this question right here. How do you solve special systems, right? And so this is a set of systems. Okay, so a system of linear equations, right? So the first step was to find the LCM. Our ultimate goal is to just, figure out what you want to eliminate, X or Y, right? So first I wanted you to write X and then the Y. And then right next to the X, you see the coefficients 4 and 2. So you're going to put 4 and 2. And right next to the Y, you see 2 and 1. So that's what you're going to put. Then you have to put the 4 times table. And then the 2 times table, right? So this part is the easy part. The 2 times table. The 1 times table. And then we have to find our LCM, right? So for the LCM over here with the variable X, we have 4. With the variable Y, we have 2. So then what this means is, in order for us to eliminate the variable X, we got to make sure the 4 turns into a 4, the 2 turns into a 4, right? So what does that mean? You have to basically multiply the top equation by 4. And it's easy because that's the first circle. And what about the bottom equation? Well, we'll have to multiply it by 2 because that's the second. The 4 here is the second one, right? So there you go, we put times 2. Another way to think about it, 2 times 2 is 4, right? Same thing if you want to eliminate the y, that means you see the highlighted stuff in red. The 2 has to turn into a 2, the 1 has to turn into a 2. So basically you have to multiply the top equation, everything on top by 1, or multiply everything at the bottom by 2. And so I said that when I decide whether to eliminate x or y, I like to pick numbers that are smaller, right? And as you can see, it's the same. Multiply by 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So it doesn't really matter which one you choose. So I'm just going to pick y, okay? So let me just go ahead and, get rid of this. I'm going to put a big X here because I know that I'm not going to use it. And then everybody knows this step, right? It's really easy. But then our second step is to make sure that we have the opposite symbol. I think I have something in my teeth. But anyway, so what you have to do is, since you decided to eliminate the x, you have to look at your variables 4 and 2, right? And they are both positive, right? We want to make sure that one of them is a negative. So when we multiply the top by 1 and the bottom by 2, we're going to have to choose to multiply one of them by a negative number. This is a really important step, right? Because if you don't understand this, you'll make a lot of mistakes. So there you go. I'm going to highlight the negative 2 because instead of just multiplying the top by 1 and the bottom by 2, in order to make sure that the symbols are opposite over here, we chose to multiply the bottom part by negative 2. And now from that point on, everything is super easy, right? What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and write the equation again. The 4x plus 2y equals 2, the 2x plus y equals 4. And then just like we said earlier, we're going to multiply the top by 1 and the bottom by negative 2. Now it's really important that you remember when we do this that we multiply every single one by 1 and every single one by negative 2. That's why I put everything in parentheses. So let's go ahead and do this. So 1 times 4x is 4x, and then 2y times 1 is 2y. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, so we're done. Let's do the bottom part. 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. Y times negative 2 is negative 2y. And 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So now we are ready for our third step, which is adding top and bottom, right? And we're so ready to do that now because we multiplied everything by 1 and negative 2, right? So there you go. Add top and bottom, you get 0. Do you write the 0? No. At top and bottom, you get another 0. But then here's an equal sign. So now I have to make sure that I put a 0 because I cannot put blank is equal to something, right? So what is 2 minus 8? Negative 6. Do you see how 0 is not equal to negative 6? But over here it says that it is equal to it. So I just say no, that's not true. So then, you know what that means? Okay, I'm trying to find the answer for x and y, but it's just it doesn't even give me the option to solve for x or y. After I did my work, I just said got 0 is equal to -6, which is wrong, right? And so what that means is no matter what number I put into x or y, I would never have a correct answer. If I were to graph this, this would be two parallel lines, okay? So what is my answer going to be? It's going to be no solution, okay? And so there you go, we are done with this question. Let's just do one more, but this time we're going to go ahead and use the substitution method, okay? So there you go. Again, it's already been all solved because I already taught this to you. Here's the question. Whenever you see something that looks like this, y is equal to something else, then I want you to think automatically, substitute, right? So instead of y, you're going to plug in the 2x plus y. So just slide it in there, okay? You see the red arrow, just slide it in there. So since the first equation is just telling me that y is equal to 2x plus 5, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just going to look at the bottom one. So instead of this y, I'm just going to plug that in. So let's just rewrite the equation. Instead of this y that I highlighted in pink, I'm going to put 2x plus 5. And I'm just going to finish writing the equation. I'm going to put -2x, and that equals 1. Okay? So then you already know me. I need to draw a line over here, right? To make sure that I see where the wall is. And then I like to track where all my x's are, right? So I'm going to use my highlighter. Then I'm going to highlight my x's, right? Okay, so you know how I don't like it when I have x's everywhere? So they're all on the same side of the wall, right? So I'm just going to put them together. So combine them. What is 2x minus 2x? It's a 0. Am I going to write the 0? No. So then since I'm already done using these two, what am I left with? Yep, just the 5. And then don't forget the equal sign. And then on the other side, I only have 1. Today is a weird day. I try and keep finding out what x is equal to and what y is equal to, but all I get is 5 is equal to 1. And we all know that they are really not equal to each other, right? So I'm going to cross it out. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with my answer, which is same thing. No matter what I put into the x or the y, it would never, I would never be able to find an answer. If I were to graph this, it would look like this. Two parallel lines. So they would never meet, right? So your answer is no solution. So wasn't that really easy? So I want you to go ahead and solve these 4 questions now. Okay? Ready?